Well, I mean, I don't know music theory, so I don't know the tempo.
You don't need me. Like, this is just like...
Do you notice how much time we have wasted by just not knowing where we are on the piano grid? It's gonna screw you in the long run if you don't know theory, because it's taking you forever just to figure out where. Hey guys, so today is going to be kind of a different style of a video. So there is a streamer named xQc, and he basically took the time to learn how to use a DAW, how to compose, how to write beats, that kind of thing. And today we're going to kind of critically analyze and try to understand some of the things that he did and some of the things that he did wrong, so that way maybe he can improve if he ever sees this, or maybe you guys can improve on your compositional and theory aspects. And I thought that I would be somebody who can at least give some concrete, decent advice as to if you need theory or if you don't need theory to compose beats and things like that. So we're going to kind of just jump right into it and see what he says. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm actually going to skip a little bit of the beginning, because it's just his friends trying to tell him how to use the DAW. And as we know, when we first open up a DAW, it can seem really, really intimidating with everything from the mixing board, from the tracks, from the instruments.
Click the kick, right? And the click is selected, and then click like on your keyboard, like comma, dot.
So right here, the first thing that I would recommend is to get a MIDI keyboard if you are somewhat serious about trying composing. It'll just help accelerate everything from your composition into your brain and vice versa.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
Understand?
That's a really good example of like how to explain good basic time signature identification. So just a group of 4, quarter note, 1, 2, 3, 4.
And now draw on the board on your right.
Well, I mean, I don't know music theory, so I don't know the tempo. Okay,
You don't really need you don't need me. Like, this is just like a baby can figure this out over time. It's just like...
Right off the bat, xQc is like, well, I don't know music theory, so I don't know what exactly I'm doing. And his friend is encouraging him, no, you don't need any music theory. So the dude who doesn't know what he's doing wants to know what he's doing, and he doesn't really know a whole lot. And all you gotta really do is tell him now, like, hey, for now, maybe let's stick with like the white keys for now, just so we can stay in like the key of A minor or C major, and we'll kind of hang out there. Then I'll kind of show you how to make chords and kind of tweak things a little bit and start making cool rhythms and melodies and stuff. But instead, he's just telling him to just kind of spat out all these notes across the piano grid. So we're gonna see how well that strategy worked.
Okay, I think you need theory. Never mind.
Okay, so as you can see that unless maybe xQc is some genius atonal composer of some sort that we are just so unfamiliar with, he's clearly struggling to some degree. So let's say like you're on a piano and you just hit the keys randomly and you just see what comes out. I think that's actually not a bad way of doing it, but most of the time you don't really find anything that sounds really good. Instead, you find things that sound kind of like this, where they just don't sound super concrete and super good. And there were so many things wrong with this. So there was no rhythm focus on this melody of some sort as well. And I know he was just doing it randomly, but if those notes were the same, but he got a decent rhythm out of it, I think it would have actually sounded a lot better, because at least having a good rhythm, we can feel it, you know, because as humans, we can feel the beat, so to speak, in our bodies and things like that. So that would have helped a lot. Yeah, all the notes that he picked, as you can see here, we've got E5, D, G sharp. Not really a whole lot of concrete sort of key center here. It's just a lot of random notes. It does kind of sound very atonal to me. So him describing it like a baby can figure it out, it's just blocks. In some ways, I do kind of understand that, because if you fuck around enough, you're gonna figure it out, as they always say, right? But understand there's only 12 notes that you have to worry about, okay? So if there are 12 notes on the keyboard, at a certain point those notes are going to repeat, and all we use is the standard alphabet A, B, C, D, E, F, G. There are 5 sharps in between certain ones, pretty much all of them except for B and C and E and F. That's why on a keyboard there are groups of 3 black keys and then groups of 2 black keys. So if there are only 12 notes that you have to worry about, that should automatically relieve your stress a little bit with how intimidating the piano grid looks. Then from there, it's a matter of understanding a major scale and understanding the circle of fifths. Okay, if you can just understand the concept of that, you should be able to figure it out to some extent. The vast majority of successful producers know music theory to some degree. They may not be book experts on music theory, but most of them do have a decent grasp of it.
Don't go too intricate for your first beat. You know what I'm saying? Just go simple. You know what I mean? Your first beat, go simple. Yeah. Yeah.
Link.
One of the best pieces of advice that his friend has given him so far is keep it very, very simple. And all he did was use 2 different notes, and now we've kind of got somewhat of a beat. And yeah, like the MIDI instrument that he's using kind of sounds a little janky, and the beat is very, very simple, and we're only on the first measure, but at least it's something.
Okay, so
Look at that. So right away, we now already have something of a kind of an F sharp minor kind of chord right here, because we have F sharp and A, so it's a dyad right there. And yeah, otherwise it's so far pretty cool. It's kind of like we're in like the key of G major or something like that. Kind of using a Dorian mode, like A Dorian or something like that.
going over some.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that. That's actually you're fine for now. You don't need that.
Honestly, I don't mind it that much so far. So far, it's kind of giving me like this sort of retro Mario sort of soundtrack vibe. It's kind of got that 8-bit sort of feel. Everything is pretty much completely diatonic in the key of G major, A Dorian.
Okay, okay.
I don't know if anyone's
Okay,
told
yeah, I
you,
mean,
but
bro,
your beat
bro.
literally sounds exactly like my brother's song.
Sounds like a beat like in a bonus. It's in a bonus. Something to like wrap it up and like end it, you know?
I mean, you want the beat? You want the beat to loop? Oh, that sounds cool.
What's up?
He had it. He had it right there.
It was f***ing trash dog. Get that off the airwaves.
This is a common thing all composers do, where they keep adding stuff and it makes it worse. So especially right here, having this F sharp there is kind of a good way of creating that tension, because it's the 7th scale degree in a major key, so it is a half step away from our tonic. So usually adding that 7th scale degree at the very end makes us want to hear a nice resolution. So that might be a good spot to repeat.
Yeah, just stick with that for now.
This
Just
is
throw it on
fine.
board.
This is not that bad. It's not that bad.
So not knowing music theory, but kind of just using your ear to see what notes sound good, thus kind of leads you into the path of music theory, because like I said, he just made kind of this like G major or A Dorian kind of beats. It's very decent is what I would say, especially for your first kind of composition. It's like it's enough to kind of get you rolling and keep adding things.
Just click new sounds on the presets.
Oh!
There we
Okay,
go.
Yeah, yeah. Hello? I'm under the water.
Now you wanna make some bass with that?
This is a really great example of timbre. It's like, how much better does this sound now compared to how it used to with the kind of janky sounding synthesizer?
Now we're at the club. Now we're at the club.
What kind of club is gonna play that?
While you're pressing play. While you have
Put them down. No, it's cursed now.
See, now he's upset because he just changed the key completely. Same intervals though, so it's technically the same melody, just in a different key. I think it looks like he went to like F major now or something. He went kind of far down, like below an octave too.
so select them all.
How do
and then
I undo?
just right click that one note you did. So select them all
Yeah. Oh, that is it. And
and
then
then
what?
control down arrow one time.
That's not undoing it.
Yes,
See what he did?
It's very, very sinister.
Down and up.
It's just you're not in the right spot anymore. Now his friend is not telling him how to undo. You missed
So
it.
you want to go back to A6, which was what's it called? A sharp. Okay, I'm so bad with notes. That's my weakness.
All right, well, he just admitted that he's really bad with notes. So there's only 12 of them that you got to worry about. We have basically wasted by just not knowing where we are on the piano grid. And like when you say like you don't know notes and you don't know theory, this is where it's going to screw you in the long run if you don't know theory, because it's taking you forever just to figure out where A6 is. Like, I understand that he kind of knows where it is in sort of a broader sense of like, if he sees it, he knows it. But like, dude, just drag it up a little bit until you get to A. He's excused for it, but his buddy, who does kind of know what he's doing, also doesn't know where it is. So if you were just taking a little bit of time to learn a little bit about how the piano is laid out, how chords and scales are laid out, it would drastically help you speed up the process of your composing and songwriting, beat making, all that good stuff.
You know how it works, right? The basic scale, right?
The what?
You know how the basic notes start, right? Like C.
A, B, C, D. Oh,
No,
what
no,
the
no.
fuck?
For music, there's a. Oh, you never learned that.
A, B, C. What the
All
Oh,
aboard the
no, no,
clown
no, no,
car,
no. There's
we
a-
heading to the circus with
Oh,
this
there's a
goofy
base.
R
Okay,
beat.
you should know
Scum.
the very basic music notes. Someone,
Oh yeah,
someone just
yeah,
looked
yeah.
It's like-
a deux crush noir, deux crush, something like that.
yeah, in English we have do re mi ma
Oh
something
yeah,
like that. We
do,
have
re, mi, fa, sol,
so-
la, si, do.
But it's like
Yeah, he got it. There we go.
it starts at C. See, no, look, keep it there and then click on C. Keep right click there, just let go. Put one note on C.
Explain it to him. You were close to getting him to understand it. He's familiar with do re mi. He's familiar with that. If you just convert that into knowing that it's just C to C, he'll kind of understand it. It's just a 7-note scale, and then at the 8th note, you're back to 1 technically, and you hit the octave.
There's
Ugh.
majors and there's minor notes. Like my
There's no such thing as a major note and a minor note. There's just notes. I know what he means, though. I think he's trying to get to the point of there are major chords and there are minor chords. There are major scales and minor scales. There are certain intervals that can be major and minor. This is a huge problem that a lot of composers have, especially when you're starting out, is you have something good and then you mess it up by going too far down the rabbit hole. So don't fall for this trap. When you have something that sounds really, really good and that like gets you excited, like he was so excited before, now it's gone. And he doesn't remember how to get back to it because him or his friend, they do not know anything about music theory, the piano grid, and all that stuff. So they're just lost at this point. So I don't know how they're going to recover.
Oh yeah, and you can do wow, 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 wow. Yeah, you see it? You can make it big and then gradually croissant, compact. Wow, wow, wow,
Crescendo, I think is what he's trying to say. The way he's describing sounds with kind of his voice, like he's borderline trying to sing it, is actually what you're supposed to do. Go with your gut, I think, is what X is actually doing really well, is he's kind of understanding how to just kind of try to say what he wants to do, but the hard part is emulating it on the DAW, which him and his friend don't really know how to do.
Let's just save this, okay? File, top left.
I hope this wasn't the first time he just saved it. So that was pretty much it, getting through everything. So it was really fun to kind of take a look at that and get some advice going. And I actually think that he has a pretty good ear and has that kind of that producer's ear, and he seems like he's kind of hungry to learn. So I think he could make some really good stuff if he keeps doing it. So yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and learned something. And please subscribe, like, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video.